I've had clients get swept up with the excitement of buying a brand new home. And I totally get it. The smell of fresh paint, the upgraded kitchen. No one's ever used the bathroom before. For some people, that's really big. But if you're thinking about buying a new construction in the Bay Area, you need to pump the brakes and listen to this. Because the reality is that what looks like a dream can turn into a massive regret if you don't know what you're walking into. And today, I'm breaking down the 5 reasons why buying a new construction, especially in our market, might not be the deal you think it is. Hey, by the way, these videos that I make, the don't buy this, don't buy that, these are videos not meant to tell you what to do. These are just warnings, some stuff that you need to be aware of. I mean, the reality is everyone's an adult. If you choose to buy whatever, then that's on you. Okay, let's begin. Red flag number 1. The price you see isn't the price you pay. You've probably seen the signs. You know, those guys that are like turning that sign starting in the low 900s. At least for my area, that's the price. Here's the thing. That price might have been accurate a year or maybe even 2 years ago. But by the time you show up, the base price has usually gone up, sometimes by tens of thousands of dollars, especially in a hot development where demand is high and homes are released in phases. And that's just the beginning. The base price you're seeing, that gets you the base finishes. Think builder-grade countertops, basic flooring, standard appliances, maybe even no appliances, no landscaping. Bottom line, it's not what you see in the model homes. Model homes are fully upgraded. They're designed to impress. You walk in thinking, wow, this looks amazing. But then you find out that the model has $150,000 to $250,000 in upgrades. Want that kitchen island, those floors, that bathroom tile, or the upgraded cabinets? Each item gets added a la carte. And here's the part where most buyers don't expect. When you choose those upgrades, the builder may require additional deposits on top of your original down payment. Sometimes those payments are due immediately after your design selections and often non-refundable. You're not just saying, yeah, I want those granite countertops. You're writing a check to lock those in. So the more upgrade, the more money you're tying up before the home is even finished. And then there are lot premiums, yet another cost. That same home on a corner lot with a bigger yard or a nicer view, add another $30,000, sometimes $75,000 or more. Let me give you a real life example. About 10 years ago, I visited this large new development over in Brentwood. They were advertising homes starting in the low 400,000s. But by the time I walked in, they were 2 years into the build out. The current base price? Closer to 500,000. The signs hadn't changed, but the reality had. Here's another example. One of my clients thought they were getting into a new build for about $1.2 million. By the time we factored in the upgrades, the lot premium, and the required deposit increases, they were close to $1.5 million. And that's not including property taxes, HOA fees, or other builder side costs that sneak in towards the end. Red flag number 2. The builder's lender isn't always your best friend. One of the first things builders will do is push you towards their preferred lender. And hey, I get it. It sounds tempting. They'll say, if you use our lender, we'll give you $15,000 closing cost credit. Sounds like free money, right? There's no such thing as a free lunch. But here's what they don't tell you. I've seen builder's lender offer that credit and then quietly add that $15,000 fee on the back end. Maybe it's an inflated loan origination charge. Maybe it's a higher rate with discount points tacked on. But one way or another, that credit just evaporates. It looks like they gave you something, but they just built it into the cost. One buyer I worked with got a deal from the builder's lender until we pulled the loan estimate and compared it with an outside lender. Same rate, better terms, $13,000 less in fees. Here's the truth. The builder doesn't care who your lender is. What they care about is making sure that they close on your loan. Now, sometimes using their lender can be a good deal, but you won't know unless you shop around and get a side-by-side breakdown. By the way, here's another side note. Sometimes you might not qualify with the builder's lender, but you qualify with an outside lender. And guess what? the builder will still sell you that house that you wanted. So be ready. Understand the timeline, understand the cost, and understand the approval process. And don't assume that everything's being rolled into the mortgage. Okay, red flag number 3. Delays, delays, delays. When you buy a new construction, the builder will give you a timeline. Usually something like build time is about 6 to 8 months. But here's the truth. Delays are the rule, not the exception. We're talking about labor shortages, permit holdups, city inspections, supply chain issues, and yes, even weather. In Northern California, just one rainy winter can delay a project by weeks, if not months. Concrete can't be poured, framers can't work safely, and if you miss a window in the schedule, everything else gets pushed back. Let me give you a real example that happened about 3 years ago after COVID hit. There was a critical electrical part that all the builders were using. Suddenly, no one could get it. Not just here in the Bay Area, but nationwide. Total shortage, supply chain collapse. And this wasn't something cosmetic that you could work around. It was a required part for the final inspection and occupancy sign-off. So what happened? The house already finished, interior complete, landscaping done, appliances installed, but without that one part, the city could not certify it as habitable. The delay, 9 months. 9 months of waiting on a completed home. 9 months of no clear answer on when the part would arrive. 9 months of no final sign-off, no move-in date. Now imagine that you're the buyer. You've sold your current home, or maybe you've told your landlord that you're moving out. You're ready, bags packed, and then nothing. I heard that in one development, half of the buyers backed out because there was no timeline, no guarantees when they could move in. And that's just one example. Delays just don't mean frustration. They can mean serious financial pain. Temporary housing, storage costs, double mortgage payments, mortgage locks expiring. And speaking of mortgage lock expiring, this was happening when rates continued to climb. So some of those cancellations were actually a result of buyers not being able to get qualified at the higher rate. So again, imagine this. You are the buyer, qualified and ready to move in, but because your rate expired and the new rates are higher that kicks in, it kicks up your monthly payment, which results in you not being qualified. That hurts. So when the builder tells you, we'll be ready by spring, just know there's a big difference between scheduled and actual completion. Red flag number 4, the sales rep doesn't represent you. When you walk into a model home, the nice person who greets you and offers you bottled water, they work for the builder, not for you. They might smile and answer your questions, but their job is to protect the builder's interests, not yours. I've seen so many buyers assume that person is a natural party or even their agent. Make no mistake, you are unrepresented unless you bring your own agent in from the beginning. Now here's the kicker. Even if you don't bring your own agent, the builder does not give you a discount. The fee that we get paid, that's still baked into the price. You're paying for representation whether you get it or not. And here's why that matters. You don't get help reviewing the builder's contract, which, by the way, is not the standard local real estate form. You don't have anyone helping you understand what happens if there are delays, defects, or issues with the builder's lender. It's kind of like walking into a courtroom and assuming the opposing attorney will help you too. So bring your own representation. You're already paying for it, you might as well get it. Let me give you an example of how this plays out. Now, this did not happen to one of my clients, but it's a situation that I've definitely seen before. A buyer walks into the sales office, no agent, thinking that they'll save money. The builder's rep, super friendly, says, "We've got you covered," and assures them the whole process will be smooth. Fast forward a few months, just 2 weeks before move-in, they get an email. "Your home completion date has been delayed by 45 days. No apology, no explanation, just a delay." The buyer's lease was ending. Movers were scheduled. They had already given notice. And the builder, they pointed out to the contract and said, "It's in there. You agreed to it." But here's the problem. This wasn't the standard California real estate contract. This was the builder's own custom agreement with pages of fine print. No agent, no one reviewing the language, no one to negotiate and advocate for you. That delay, totally allowed. The buyer was stuck with no leverage and no real recourse. And look, if they had brought in an agent in from the start, At the very least, they would have known what they were signing. Better yet, we might have pushed for a little flexibility or better terms, or at least some sort of clarity up front. Hey, if this has been helpful so far, hit that like button and consider subscribing. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Thank you very much. I break down stuff like this all the time so you can avoid the expensive mistakes in the Bay Area real estate market and beyond. Thanks for being here again. Finally, red flag number 5. Warranties aren't as great as they sound. Now let's talk about what happens after you move in. Most builders offer a warranty, 1 year, 2 years, sometimes 10 years for structural issues. Sounds reassuring, right? But here's the catch. Actually getting those problems addressed can be a nightmare. I've seen buyers report issues just weeks after moving in. Heating not working right, cracks in the stucco, sinks that don't drain, doors that won't shut properly, and then radio silence. You're left emailing, calling while the builder is off focusing on the next space or the next community. Even worse, you're usually not allowed to hire someone else to fix the problem because that might void your warranty. Now, here's something you probably haven't thought of. Even with new construction, hiring your own home inspector might be one of the smartest moves that you can make. Why? Because you want a neutral set of eyes checking the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC, all of it. Yes, builders do often do their own final walkthrough, but that's still their team signing off on their own work. And let me tell you, I've been through dozens and dozens of these walkthroughs, and one thing I've noticed is that they are pretty liberal with that blue tape. If you don't know what I mean, during the walkthrough, the builder's rep has those blue painter's tape, basically marking stuff that they have noted or you noted. The thing is, it seems like every walkthrough that I've been through, the rep has started the inspection already and had already made notes on his or her blue tape, to the point like I think they are trying to distract or give the buyer a false sense of security. Kind of like saying, hey, don't worry, look at what we've tagged so far. These are the stuff that we got here. And usually the things that they tag are all freaking minor scuff marks. Look, I'm not saying it's not helpful. I'm just saying it's suspicious to me. Let me give you another quick example, but this one has nothing to do with the walkthrough. One of my clients moved in, and just a few days later, their toilet kept on clogging. Like it was happening from day one. We assumed maybe someone flushed something they shouldn't have, but it kept happening. So they called in the builder who sent the plumber. Turns out, during construction, someone had stuffed rags or towels, actual debris into the sewer line. That's what was causing the backup. The builder fixed it eventually, but it took a couple of weeks and it shouldn't have happened in the first place because no one was flushing toilets during the inspection. So if you're thinking about buying new construction, don't go in blind. Ask the tough questions, bring your own experts, and protect yourself from surprises because once you sign, you're locked in. And if you want someone in your corner who's been through this before, someone who knows what to ask, what to watch out for, and how to negotiate with builders, call, text, or DM me anytime. Whether you're just starting to explore or already eyeing a development, I'm here to help you make smart moves without regrets. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like.